Endure and survive, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast. In this video, I will give you a quick rundown of some news that has just been released for The Last of Us Part 3. I will also tell you why I think it's actually for The Last of Us Factions. We'll get into it. Now listen, if you like this video, be sure to bash that like button for Golf Club. I know it's too soon to say that, I'm so sorry. Check out our reviews on the channel and subscribe. Now, let's get into it. So this news comes from a person on Twitter called Daniel Rickman. Daniel Rickman's pretty reputable, I have to say. They leaked stuff in the past before for movies like Spider-Man No Way Home, and the information was pretty accurate, I must admit. So, like I always say, take things with a grain of salt, but I'm optimistic this is pretty true. So let's just get right into it. Part of the plot will be about a group of scavengers surviving on the outskirts of a post-apocalyptic city crammed into a Victorian house that serves as their base. And they're looking for these roles to cast. They're looking for Val, female leader of the group; Ezra, male, wants to take over the house from Val; Mason, male, a former soldier. When Val gets put in charge, Mason must choose between his loyalty to Ezra and the house; Lucas, male, affable but develops a relationship with another young scavenger and will have a turn that shows his dark side; and then lastly, Gracie, female, 18-25, no other details on this character. But hold up, where's Ellie? Well listen, I'm sure I don't know, but viewer Anon had this to say. Look, it's early, story details are tweaked, and everything's potentially up in the air to be changed, but I assure you, I've heard Ellie is at least as important in The Last of Us Part 3 as she was in Part 2. With that said, I'm going to tell you why I think this is Cap. Oh wow, I felt so cringe saying that. Anyways, probably not Cap, but I feel like this is actually for The Last of Us Factions. Now hear me out, and you guys let me know what you think in the comments below a little bit later on. Okay. Part of the plot will be about a group of scavengers. Okay, maybe these scavengers you could choose to play as each one, right? Who knows? You could customize them, this and that. On the outskirts of a post-apocalyptic city, let's say San Francisco, like The Last of Us Factions, crammed into a Victorian house. That's really interesting to see a Victorian house in San Francisco. Pretty ornate, pretty iconic, wouldn't you say? And then, if Ellie will be involved, perhaps she is running the Victorian house and you get to visit her after missions, upgrade stuff, get some cinematics or cutscenes, some exposition on the story. These characters will be pretty complex, it seems, and I heard a long time ago that they want to do something new and innovative with multiplayer. In that sense, they want to add more story into them. You know, for multiplayer games like Fortnite, Overwatch, Warzone, these games, they have an interesting way to give you story. You know, like Warzone, you have to really be there from the beginning, stick around. It's usually through cutscenes and some audio. Fortnite, you have to dig deep sometimes, but it actually has a pretty cool lore, you know. And Overwatch, they have great cinematic trailers, this and that, and some codex stuff, I guess. And then Destiny 2 has a rich lore. It's almost like Star Wars, right? But a lot of that stuff you have to read in codexes, or you just look at the trailer and whatnot. That's what I really think, you know, that those are my 2 cents on it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. But I feel like maybe it's too early for The Last of Us Part 3. I did a news update before, so we kind of have this gist on the making of it, but not really, you know, the actual details of the story, of course. I really feel like if Ellie's in The Last of Us Factions, this will be a leeway to The Last of Us Part 3. And I would imagine The Last of Us Part 3 will probably be the last game in the Last of Us series. And you know, there could be a spin-off or whatever. I don't want The Last of Us to end, but I don't want it to run straight into the ground as well. So I think that'll be a respectful way to the story, and it would be really authentic to end it in The Last of Us Part 3. And of course, you still have The Last of Us Factions, a live service game that you could play through years to come, sort of like Warzone, and maybe there's new characters introduced and gear progression and this and that will carry over into next gen. Now, don't let this deter you from the fact that Last of Us Part 3 is in development for a next gen upgrade for PS6. I said this news in my other update video. You guys could check that in a link down below. And basically, it was going to have a release schedule similar to how they all were released. You know, when The Last of Us 1 was released and then it came out for the PS4, there was a remake, and then now we have the remaster. Last of Us Part 2, you know, came out at the end of the PS4 life cycle, and then they had a next gen upgrade. So most likely it'll actually follow the same routes, with factions being, let's say, a free to play. I wonder if it's actually going to be free to play. If it is, there's gonna be a shitload of microtransactions, so be prepared for that. You know, I hope they do it right. Also, they did get somebody from, I think, Fortnite, that worked on the Fortnite games, to make up a battle pass for the Last of Us faction. So take that as you will. I hope everything will be pretty cheap, because I know that I'm so much of a Last of Us fan, I might fall into the trap of microtransactions, unfortunately. And with that, that is my news update for The Last of Us Part 3 - The Last of Us Factions. If you guys made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. As we always say in this channel, we love you very much. Be sure to like this video on your way out, and if you're so inclined to, we do plenty of reviews on the channel. Check out some of our reviews. We got a lot of exciting reviews coming up in the future, a lot of exciting videos too. My name is Akram. I'm going to show you guys, because you guys been so nice, a video of an elk. As always, endure and survive. Until next time, see you guys.